Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder 2 Talks number 71. And today the topics are really important, a little bit urgent, and on the rather unexpected side. So I wanna go through the topics right at the beginning, and one of you can earn himself or herself a pinned post if you post the timestamps of the various different topics, so that people that are interested only in one topic or don't really like the other can skip those topics as they desire. So with that out of the way, let's go straight into the topics, shall we? The first topic is Goodye Naval Forces ? This has to do with a response from Gaijin, a threat by YouTube, and the state of 5.7 cruisers in combination. Then the second topic is the current state of the grind of the Chinese tech tree in both ground and air forces, which is a rather small topic, it's just rather an update. Point number 3 is big, huge and important, and it needs your support because I asked the question to you guys: should I comment/analyze replays from you guys where you had an exceptionally awesome battle, where you think the stars aligned and everything you did was the right decision to do, or where you think you just tried your very best but you couldn't figure out why you failed or didn't come across the desired results. And this is just me giving you guys the chance to learn, but also for me to just come across different playstyles and different approaches to winning a match, both for aircraft and tanks. Of course, for ships it's a bit difficult, not a lot of you are interested in this topic, as well as for helicopters I just simply don't support them being in the current way, the way that they are. So this is topic number 3. Then topic number 4 is paid bug hunting, and this is something, if Gaijin follows this suggestion, then not just only can the players profit, but also at the end Gaijin, and at the very end everybody, even those people who are not involved. Then topic number 5, World of Warships buffs to German battleships may be worth revisiting. And then at the end, obviously, not just as a sign of goodwill, but in general, it is just history. Questions from the last Duck Talks number 70. So let's go right straight into the first topic. So the first topic is Goodye Naval Forces content on my channel, ? Now, some of you might be shocked, some of you might just be mildly surprised and saw this coming, but I want to go really quick through the reasons because this is very important, and I also want to calm you guys down because I will not drop all the Naval Forces content, of course. Why? Because I still want to continue this cooperation with Rakini Fel and the 5-minute guides being incorporated in my ship reviews. I think that this is a very high quality standard that I can deliver to you guys, and I've put so much work into it and so much effort, I just want to throw it out of the window. But I will significantly scale down the amount of videos per patch dedicated to ships because of numerous reasons. And those reasons are because of the very poor state of 5.7 cruisers and naval forces overall. Then also because a lot of people are not interested in naval forces, I knew that I would sacrifice subscribers, I would sacrifice also views per video, so my average view per video went down massively. And so it is not really worth it. Now, at first glance, I wouldn't really care because I had quite a bit of fun doing this, and I also learned for myself quite a bit. I mean, there are so many YouTubers out there featuring tanks, featuring planes, featuring even helicopters, but I have to do all by myself when it comes to naval forces. Learning, playing, summing it up, and just giving a verdict to a ship and being honest to myself and obviously to my subscribers and or the viewers of the video in general. However, by me doing naval forces, as I said, I slowed down quite a lot when it comes to my channel growth and also the average view per video. That had the following consequences. First of all, the support by Gaijin's content creator team well, they scaled it down because my channel is doing so poorly. They're not honoring the fact that I'm the last one featuring ships, and that is really a slap in the face. However, you cannot really blame them, because at the end of the day, the real reason nobody really being interested that much in naval forces is because of the poor state of the 5.7, which comes down to the dev team. But they also have to play by the rules, the content creator team here. And so they have their rules, which were given to them by their bosses. And again, they're not honoring the fact that I am the last one featuring naval forces here. And the last nail in the coffin was the threat by YouTube. And apparently there is a massive rumor out there that YouTube is planning to just simply delete channels that are not doing really all that well. And to be honest, I have put much more effort into my channel overall than I have put into naval forces. And if it might be naval forces and my channel getting deleted, or having here a chance with featuring, you know, other stuff like tanks and planes, and then just being not deleted, I choose the latter one. I hope you understand. So yeah, this is not even mentioning here the map design, the game mechanics, game modes, 5.7 greedy, pay to win premium cruisers, or the fact that the World War I cruiser has the same battle rating as some World War II or post-World War II cruisers, which is hilarious. Not even mentioning here the patrol boat madness. You get the idea, I hope. So just to clarify it, I'm still part of the content creator program, which is nice, and I also have to make one thing clear. I have criticized Gaijin in the past vigorously and just drastically, and they have still supported me and gave me quite a lot, because those rant videos created apparently quite a few views, and that's all that counts, which is a flaw by itself for the conditions of the Gaijin creator program. However, you know, here we are, and again, it's not down to the people themselves being mad at me. It's just the rules that they have to follow, the rules that I have given my okay to follow, basically. There is no contract, there is nothing written down, but this is just something very, very important and something that you guys should know. The information is out there on the internet. You can look it up. It's not a secret. It never has been a secret. So the state of naval forces, to just give you a picture, is comparable to a wedding cake, you know. So many people have put so much effort and skill and knowledge into creating this awesome, expensive, huge wedding cake, you know, and you expect it to be perfect. And this is nearly like War Thunder, right? Except that when it comes to War Thunder, somebody really puts down his trousers and takes a massive dump on top of the wedding cake, and then wonders why the people are hating him, why the people are not liking the wedding cake all of a sudden, although, like, let's say 95% of the wedding cake is just top notch. The 5% of shit is all that it takes to ruin it all. And this is practically the Gaijin dev team, wondering why they get so much hate if they take a dump on the player base and War Thunder itself, through their not so great decisions, let's put it that way. So, goodbye naval forces, not completely, but significantly scaled down. And yeah, let's move on to the next topic, which is practically an update on my progress through the grind of the Chinese tech tree, both for ground and air forces. And yeah, for planes I am now at rank 4, and for tanks I'm still at rank 3. And I just spend a few games per day, less than 2 hours per day, to just simply try to grind it. And the process, despite the premium account, despite using a lot of premium vehicles and a booster here and there, it's just slow. It's really, really slow, and that tells me one thing: the grind throughout the years has become significantly worse. And I hope that Gaijin is changing that in the near future, at least to ease it up a little bit, to at least come into the vicinity of the higher ranks once you begin a new nation, because the grind, it's rather substantial and endless. So yeah, that brings us then to the third topic. And that is the question, should I comment/analyze replays from you guys? This is something that has come to my mind a long time ago, but I always refuse to use other people's work to be featured on my channel and create views and subscribers that way. Everybody that does this, I'm perfectly okay with this. Once in a while I watch this, but for me personally, on my channel, I always could be proud of featuring only my stuff. The only exception has been in the past a few replays from Exe, where I made a video about his helicopter gameplay because it was so well done when he sniped planes. Back in the days where there were no proximity fuse warheads on helicopter ATGMs. So he manually guided them in on a flying jet, which was quite impressive looking. With that out of the way, yeah, should I comment or analyze on those replays? The thing is this, I always can look at different playstyles and appreciate them. And if they lead to success, maybe even I can learn something. And also when some of you guys have specialized on only a handful of vehicles and you really brought them to perfection, then also quite a bit is there to be learned. As well as, you know, different positioning, various different in-depth tactic analysis is also something that I can deliver. As well as if some of you think that they did their best, that they really tried very hard, but it just was not crowned by a lot of success, then I also can tell you what was done wrong or what was done right. It was just bad luck. Because a lot of you people are not playing the game as long as I do, and so I also got tunnel visioned on a little bit on my own opinions. Everybody does this, there is no exception. So this is where I then can have a look at the community from a perspective of a new player, of a player that only has one nation, or that's his only top tier tank plane, ship, whatever. I can immediately tell you stuff that I will not feature. It is where I see somebody abusing some pay-to-win stuff like helicopters, certain planes, blapping tanks in Tank RB, you know, the farming games. I don't think that they show skill. I don't really think that they are entertaining and that you can really learn all that much from this. So this is about learning for all of you, not just me or myself, but also the community. So let me know in the comment section if you support this decision or if you say, nah, I only want to see you playing. If I would accept replays, it would look like the following. If you write the email, you have to attach not just only the replay, of course, but also a screenshot of the results, because I cannot access them any other way. I also need a match description, why you made which move, when, and also what you think was pure luck, what do you think was your idea if you made a certain decision at a certain point that had effects only minutes later. Let me know. I myself did it that way when I sent back in the days my 2 featured replays of War Thunder in the 82 Sky Raider and also in the tier 10 German battleship in World of Warships, the Großer Kurfürst, to Jingles, and it was featured. I gave him a match description, thumbnails of the match results, and yeah, I'm really looking for interesting, fancy playstyles. I will not become Jingles, I will not do this 24/7 as daily content, in contrast to the old man. No, I wanna just spice up here the overall content of my channel, maybe a few replays per month. That's my goal so far, and I hope that you actually participate here in the comment section under this video if you would support this or not. Let me know. That brings me then to topic number 4, and that is bug hunting. Now, in the past, I already kind of tried to motivate you guys to report your bugs that you have come across or things that are not correct to Gaijin. But so far, I have one big issue with this. More and more problems are coming in. A lot of people really lose interest in helping Gaijin, and at the end of the day, it is just work that should be done by Gaijin. Quality control. And so if Gaijin wants to save money that way, there is still one opportunity for the players to profit at the hands of Gaijin, but also Gaijin at the end of the day profiting with a game that is more or less bug-free. I know War Thunder is a huge, amazingly powerful project, but the amount of bugs is just mind-blowing. So why not make a bug hunt by the community, and every single well-documented, reported bug gets rewarded with 1,000 golden eagles. Think about this. Gaijin would pay the players with in-game premium currency for reporting the bugs, so that Gaijin are now no longer in a position of excusing themselves of that no bugs get reported. And I see both sides here, because that is another motivation, and we wouldn't make your Gaijin's work completely for free. And it's down still to everybody's own will if you would participate in this bug hunt or not. So again, this is feedback for Gaijin. Gaijin, please introduce it in a way that every single completely correctly reported bug gets awarded 1,000 golden eagles. It doesn't really cost you anything. You would motivate the community, and everybody would profit. Gaijin, the community that actually participates in the bug hunt, and even the players that are not having any idea what I'm talking here about would just have a better game at hand. A better game for everybody, as well as Gaijin. And so I think everybody profits. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, because I think that this is a sign of goodwill. It's a smart decision to implement this, and Gaijin wouldn't really have to take a real money currency into their hand. They would not be in the need to spend real money on this, except for just hiring new devs that would get rid of those bugs, of course. But again, that is then the lack of quality control at the hands of Gaijin in the first place. So, it comes back in one way or the other. And here I am already with point number 5. World of Warships. It still has been on my radar. See what I did there. And, I'm watching a lot of videos from Flamu, from Chingles, and many other World of Warships content creators. It's just much more fun to watch. But I myself have just simply more or less stopped playing the game, since, the German battleship line was the one thing that I desired to play, and because of a lot of power creep, a lot of feature creep, and some brain dead designs like the Conqueror, when it was completely overpowered, and also now the Soviet battleship lines, that just really killed my interest in even beginning new lines, in playing something else. And the German battleships were just hilariously broken with their really poor accuracy of the main guns. Now, it seems like World of Warships, or Wargaming rather, is testing now better dispersion on German battleships, and I am a huge fan of this. So you might or might not see in the future some gameplay of me in World of Warships. Because I think that, changing the game once in a while is something that I should do more often. So, yeah, bringing back a little bit of German flavor into the battleship fight in World of Warships. Yep. Then, let's begin with topic number 6, questions from Last Duck Talks. Jay Wilt is asking the following: do you think that in Tank RP it would be a good idea to test fusing caps and spawns into a single entity to make the current maps far more flexible? These caps would have neutral pillboxes, light pillboxes, and howitzers guarding them that need to be killed for a cap to swamp from one team to the other. When the zone flips, they respawn for the side owning the zone. Planes and helis would be able to help their teammates by neutralizing them instead of solely being revenge or anti-camping cheese fests. These caps would also be able to be decapped by bombing in a form of scorched earth tactic, again giving planes and Hellis something better to do than just be revenge anti-camping tools. Oh, and both of these new goals would need to pay more RP and civil lines than players' kills to encourage ground zombies to prioritize them in their planes, Hellis over player tanks. Well, to be honest, those are some very good points. I am absolutely against fusing a capture zone and a spawn zone together. I have seen this in Ship Enduring Confrontation a while ago, and it didn't really work all that well. Point number one. Point number two, I'm an absolute fan of pillboxes, light pillboxes, and howitzers in tank RP. This gave so much charm when it came to the artillery positions in the very early days of War Thunder, and I'm so sad that this has gone away. Then also the idea to give something else to shoot for planes and helicopters rather than tanks is a great idea, and I absolutely support this. So next to just only making a helicopter realistic battle only game mode, which is absolutely needed, this is another thing to lift the pressure of the tankers actually playing there. Then also with this scorched earth tactic of bombing one of those capture zones to damage it, or just forcing the team to recapturing it, is a great idea, and indeed it would give much more value to those strategic heavy bombers with big bomb loads from many nations, right, to also use them in tank RP. Capture zones already give quite significantly more RP and civil lines than tanks, so I'm not quite sure if you know this, but that is actually a fact. Alphonse Tukor asks, question, do you think Gaijin should divide up its tech trees into World War II and Cold War branches? Some people just want to play Cold War stuff, and grind through all the World War II stuff drives them away. Now, that is a very interesting point of view, and I absolutely see where you're coming from. The problem is that Gaijin is a game that has grown quite substantially over the last years and expanded it. At some point we just had everything from the Panzer IIs to up the Tiger 105 and relative things in the other tech trees, especially the Soviet one, which began with the T-26 and ended with the IS-4, if I am informed correctly. And then the significantly rapid advance on the top end level of War Thunder began, because that made quite a lot of money. And Gaijin really would drop quite a lot of money if they would decide to design it that way. I understand it from the perspective of the people only wanting to play Cold War branches. For me personally, the major problem is that when you play your World War II stuff, you not just only reach a little bit into the Cold War area, you are among it, and some World War II tanks have the battle rating of some Cold War tanks, and some Cold War tanks have the battle rating of some World War II tanks. It is a massive compression issue. It's a significant balance issue, and it wouldn't go away by just simply splitting the tech trees. In fact, it even could make it worse. So that is a problem that doesn't get solved all that easy. Artisto81 aka Meong Garong asks, question, did Soviet destroyers got buffed recently? They feel more tanky than usual, and I almost constantly get good results playing them. I don't know how much you are involved in our forces, and also the question is 4 weeks old, but when the patch came around, the previous patch, Gaijin actually addressed the dispersion of the destroyer caliber guns and certain light cruiser guns, that they get their accuracy fixed. The 130mm gun of the Soviet destroyers was always delivering quite powerful shells, both in terms of AP and HE, and in particular the HE shell is one of the strongest amongst destroyers. And when you then suddenly can actually hit reliably the enemy, you knock out gun turrets, you knock out certain other aspects of the ship, where then it cannot really play to its fullest, and so you come out of a one duel much better than your opponent, and it feels much more dynamic. So the destroyers themselves, like all nations destroyers, got a buff by being fixed and being usable versus other destroyers. I'm not quite sure if you are talking about this. Now, usually I only want to answer questions that are hashtagged with hashtag question, but I'll make an exception here for a few questions. And Blancelot asks, how about Kentucky bourbon or Tennessee whiskey? Japan's Hibiki is also very good. Well, I might wanna have a go at them and wanna try them in the near future, but I cannot promise anything. Then Matt Bond also asks, Napalm, could I be part of one of these duck talks, but on the naval side of these videos about the suggestions? Not gonna pressure people, I don't like that. This applies to you and every person. Well, I'm sorry, but I rarely do interviews, or I rarely do talks with people. Sometimes I do this. I have some podcasts, especially with Drakini and also a very old one with Many Miles Away. But the Duck Talks is me talking about the points that I want to be covered. I see your point, but if you want to do this, why not start with YouTube yourself? Honestly, that's a good way. If you have something that you want to make, just do it. The most difficult part is the beginning. The rest is rather easy. X Avier asks, why do you think the player base is stagnant? How is War Thunder not dead yet? With such wait times, so many modes with the player base spread thin, I would have guessed that most wouldn't put up with it and the awful quality control. Well, at first glance, the way you put it is correct. On the other hand, Gaijin is putting a lot of money into advertisement, and if you are watching the right channels, they actually get sponsored by Gaijin. So a lot of people that don't know anything about War Thunder, have no idea about the bad situation beginning at mid and ending at high tier, they just start the game and either they take it or they just go away, and that is Gaijin's business model. Sad but true. The player base feels overall pretty stagnant, and I think that War Thunder, if handled correctly, could have easily 10 times the player base, but Gaijin is okay with just quenching a lot of the player base for just that €1, that $1, that €1 more. Sad but true. And apparently as many people come in new as old go when they are done with the game, one way or the other. So I hope that answers your question. Just Hans is asking, hashtag question, why does Gaijin want to be number one most greedy company and number one company that makes worse decisions, and why didn't they implemented anti-cheat? So by now, easy anti-cheat is actually implemented, and I don't think that Gaijin wants to be, thought of as being the most greedy and most useless design or development team company out there. It's just that in some aspects they are really, really doing their outright most possible to achieve this goal. It's not their goal that they set this, but the way that their business model is set up, it just ends up with people like you asking this. And I cannot really blame you, because if you look at certain premiums, namely helicopters, tanks, planes, and especially the 5.7 battle rating premium cruisers, you're actually not that far off from the truth, mate. Jean Valjean asks, can you do duck talk with RRP footage, please? Naval battles are just so boring to watch. Well, I think I have hopefully clarified this at the beginning. I also featured here the Type 1934A 1944 in the very beginning, and the rest should be different gameplay, but I see your point. On the other hand, a lot of people are using this as a podcast, and so they are not watching the gameplay in the background in the first place. So I hope that you can forgive me in that aspect. And that also tackles the questions from Frankie or Luke. Why you play only ships? Ugh. Well, I also play quite a lot of tanks. I play also quite a lot of planes. It's just sad that you haven't found those videos on my channel. A proper look at my channel and the videos is very helpful in this aspect. And if you wanna look for a specific tank, plane, ship, whatever, then just Google it or just look it up on YouTube. Just type in my name, Napalmratte, and then also the vehicle in question that you want to see, and then there is a very high chance that one of my 1100 videos will deliver the desired vehicle. The last question comes from Fabio Ganassini and is the following. What do you think if the Panzer 58, the Panzer 68 and 61 would be added to fill the gaps of the line from 6.7 to 8.0? I assume that you're talking about the German tank tech tree, and you know what? I answered that question 2 years ago. The following: I support them, they are really needed, and the RE251 is not really a light tank that can be counted since it is only available as a premium, which defeats the purpose of a tech tree vehicle edition, which Germany just simply lacks to be competitive, much like Great Britain at this battle rating, believe it or not. And Great Britain has only one thing going for them, that they are playing together with the Americans that have a lot of light tanks at around this battle rating. So yes, Panzer 58, Panzer 68 and 61, they would be really good additions to the German tech tree. They would bring much more variety into them, but they also would bring a bit more feature and power creep to the table, which again results in the even more needed decompression patch. So that has been it for me today. 6 big huge topics, they get fired up by YouTube, by Gaijin, Goodye Naval, support by Gaijin's content creator program. Then also the question for you guys to send in replays if you want to see this on my channel. The grind of the Chinese tech tree being too grindy. Bug hunting, a suggestion for Gaijin, and also the World of Warships buff to German battleships, and at the end I just finished answering the question. Again, if you have questions, please hashtag them, hashtag question, and I'll answer them in the next Duck Talks number 72, which will come hopefully soon. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like with it, share it with your friends and your clanmates, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.